I am so excited. First of all, again, for the first time, as you know, is the name of the podcast. And again, for the first time, not even a first, again, I'm talking to my partner. We own the D&D Diner together. We are going to meet and do this quarterly. We did this a couple months ago. Talk about pop culture, talk about the Blackhawks, talk about maybe one of the best sweaters I've ever seen a person wear is being worn right now. We're going to
Yes,
talk about movies. DJ is my guest. DJ, how are you?
I'm doing well, my partner in crime.
Yes. Yes. Well, first of all, let's start there, right? Let's start before we get into the diner. Let's kind of like sit in the parking lot right now and talk about some sports before we walk in. Uh,
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
well, how are your Blackhawks doing in your opinion?
I always think that when an organization is restructuring their team, and
Hmm.
now they're restructuring, and of course they're trying to pull the young blood
Yep.
and trying to find the lines that work well together. And
Hmm.
it's been a very rough year, and unfortunately, the superstar Connor Bedard has like the world on his shoulders right now because everyone just sees him as being well as great as he really is, but
He really is.
he's not getting the line partners to help
Nope.
boost him right now because they can't find it. They got rid of the last head coach. Now they got the interim coach, and he was doing good, with things. And then I don't know what happened. It's almost like the Falcons the year we won the Taylor.
Yep.
We lost against all the bad teams, but
Yeah,
we
that's
won
right.
against the good teams.
It's
So
called playing to the level of your competition.
right? Either that or they're downplaying just because
Mm.
they know that we're down last place. Just hoping that this next season that they got all the ickies out and they're able to get a better grasp on a better line for each of the guys. Because I mean, you're talking Donato, who's just been on fire,
Hmm.
Terran. I mean, it's just they've got awesome guys. They just need to find the right lines.
That's right. No, I agree. Couple of things to unpack there.
Yeah.
First, I think the rebuilding is going according to plan, maybe a little better. Um,
Mhm.
unfortunately, I see a lot of talking heads and a lot of snipers on social media who will say about Bernard, well, Gretzky was able to do it by himself. Well, a couple of things. One, no, he had when he was with Edmonton when they were in the WHL, he had a guy named Gordie Howe with him.
Yep.
Okay. And then when they went to the Oilers in the NHL, he was not with the kind of talent that the Blackhawks have right now. He had people like, Yari Curry and Mark Messier. And I mean, come on. It wasn't like he was by himself.
No,
I,
and he's if you look, Connor's already broken several of those guys' records.
yep.
I'm unbelievable,
Hmm.
unbelievable, and he's still on track, even though he's had a bad season only because of the lines. I mean,
Hmm.
there's no doubt. You watch that kid, and you can just tell he's got one of those very specific types of skate. Well,
Yep.
you know he is. You and I have talked about that crazy little red circle that they put around him all the time, and you see it on the ice. That
That's
bugs
right.
the things out of me. But that's if you don't know who you're watching. You can always
Oh,
tell.
yeah. Well, because let's be honest, you and I watch a lot of hockey. We don't need that, but some people do. I'm very happy today wearing my authentic New York Met Road jersey. But what I want to talk about is what DJ's wearing. Show the world, kids. Look at
Now
that.
I've got
That's fire.
my home and away jerseys, you all combined in one ham. I'm all set.
That
I
is
was gonna wear
outstanding.
this to the Winter Classic, but a lot of things happened and I couldn't make it after all. But this was gonna be it. I wasn't gonna be cold outside with all those billions of people, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, this was a perfect addition to my little collection.
Well, first of all, it's awesome. Second
Yeah.
of all, let's talk Winter Classic for a minute. I love the fact that it was at Wrigley.
Yes.
Um, What I didn't like, I don't think the NHL is promoting it properly. It used to be a big event, like big, and now it's not. And I think they have horrible people do marketing. You know, you and I both do marketing. Um, hey, give me a call, all right? Like, you know, I'll do it for free. Just do a better job. And second of all,
Just get out
what was it like seeing that it was at Wrigley Field? And then I want to ask you a negative question, but go.
there. I loved it only because, that's my
Hmm.
birth home. I'm a Chicagoan through and through. Still,
Yes.
uh, it was amazing. In fact, I think a couple people I know from Fresno actually went.
Oh,
Uh,
beautiful. Beautiful.
but I've never gotten a reply from them about it. I know the hype was that they were going there. They kind of posted like they were there, but there was no, if I'm going to be there, you're going to see pictures of me everywhere around that
Of
ballpark,
course.
right?
Of course.
Um, I thought it was interesting that the commentators that were there,
Hmm.
Bill Murray, even though we know he's a Cub fanatic,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. He's at Wrigley Field. He's going to promote the Hawks all the way. So,
Which is great.
and yes, it was a sad loss, but it was something that those boys got to experience that they may not be able to do again.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you, as somebody, I've been to Wrigley Field multiple times. It's just, listen, I feel very blessed, seriously. Um, I'm a, tried and true Met fan. Talk about sports for a second,
Mhm.
baseball for a second. But Shea Stadium was a dump, but it was my dump. I love my dump. It was a great dump. Yeah, I just love it. I love it more than City Field. But I've been to L.A. Right? I've been to Dodger Stadium. I've been to Fenway Park.
Hmm.
Right? I've been
I
to.
remember you were there not long ago. Yeah.
That's right. I've been to, and I have partial season ticket plan now. I've been to
Hmm.
the original Yankee Stadium in the '60s. Show you my age, where they used to have monuments in the outfield.
Hmm.
And I completed the Mecca for the Mount Rushmore. I went to Wrigley Field,
Right
and
on.
one time was actually sitting on the rooftop across the street, which was
Oh,
so cool. You know,
it is it's a totally different perspective when you're watching it that high up and kind of,
yeah,
segregating other people.
yes, because it's the perfect mix of I'm outside. I'm sort of having a private shindig. We had private Chicago hot dogs, and by the way, people, I love my Coney Island hot dogs. Chicago hot dogs rule. They just do.
So does our pie.
Yeah.
So does our pizza
we,
pies.
we can argue about the pie. The pie is great. And like I tell people, the
But
pie, New York, here's the difference. New York pie and Chicago, they're different. They're both spectacular. They are both spectacular. One, you like one more than the other. Like, for example, I edge out to the New York slice a little bit over the deep dish, though I love the deep dish. I'll never say no. I'm not kicking it out of bed for eating crackers. You know, that thing, I'll sleep with that thing. Now, hot dogs. Coney Island Nathan hot dogs, spectacular.
they are good.
Spectacular. But a Chicago dog with celery salt, nothing better.
Mhm.
Explain to those who've never had a Chicago dog, please, why it's awesome.
What cracks me up is there's a couple places here in town. We got that Coney Island down there at River Park and stuff.
Big.
Yeah. And I've not eaten there, but I can't, I just, because when you've had something that's from the original place, it's
Yep.
very hard because you're very critical.
Hmm.
Lee just looks at me and says, it's just food. And I says,
No,
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 it's
it's
a
not.
little
It's
more
going
than
in my body. It's going in my body.
this is my childhood over and
Yep.
over. That, when you ask for a Chicago dog, I mean, you're looking for the kraut, the mustard,
Yep.
the onions, and I mean, they're just piles. I mean, you could go stories high with it. And the same thing with, argue, or whatever the word is. We can go back and forth about the pizza. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, listen, I love Chicago pizza. I'm not saying it's bad.
no,
Like I said, I'm not kicking it out of bed. I love it.
it's your preference. Yeah.
Yes. See, with me, if you see Barstool and you see some of I like a floppy grab and it kind of flops, and you got to do this. But that's my choice because I like it
Yeah.
kind of doughy and cheesy. But when it comes to the hot dogs,
Yeah.
Chicago
They,
dog and then Nathan's, Chicago dog is just so much better. Here's why.
okay.
Because you actually said it. Because a Chicago dog is a meal. You could pile so much stuff on that thing and you don't rush it. You know, a Nathan's hot dog, I mean, literally, they get praised for eating it fast. You don't eat a Chicago dog fast. You enjoy it.
Well,
Huh?
isn't Nathan the one that sponsors those hot
Yes. Yeah. Coney Island Nathan's. Yeah.
dogs? Yeah.
Exactly. So now, see, it's a perfect segue for us as we go to the D&D
Food.
Diner. Ooh, beautifully made by my partner DJ. It's just awesome.
I
Um,
know I left mine. I grabbed the wrong cup this morning.
Eat at Joe's.
Mine says love, so it's okay.
That's a that's a good thing. So
Mhm.
anyway, let's talk a little bit first about since you know you and I had started this journey together. What is this nicest slash sweetest thing anybody's ever said to you about your performances, or and have you got any wackadoos? Like I'll share with you. I got one wackadoo who's arguing with me about how could I not like a movie? And I was like basically saying it's it's an opinion. It's an
Yeah,
opinion. It's like
exactly.
you might like, you know, salmon. I hate salmon. You know, it's well, how could you hate salmon? I just hate salmon. Go ahead. If you have
You're
anything
not a
similar?
person, not everybody loves everything, or you're not gonna
Mm,
talk about a movie or food or whatever just because you're gonna talk about it. So you better be nice, because
right.
you're not gonna make everybody happy anyway. So you're doing it for you and your perspective to share with other people. The weirdest one I think I was telling you earlier that I saw was a gentleman who I think the way it was phrased, it almost sounded like he could do it better. But it's not easy
No,
to do
you can't.
things in 90 seconds. It is not easy to do. And yes, I
Yeah.
go over because my mouth doesn't know how to stop. But
Stop.
one of the best ones I got was my very first one when I did the one about the Las Vegas hockey team.
Hmm.
People really enjoyed how I went about doing that one and talking because I was just short and sweet. And for whatever reason, I ended up making a poem out of it.
Right.
And, people liked it. The other one that cracked me up was more recent. It was the night bitch. And
Yes.
I,
By the way, I want to see that still. I am so glad you did that.
it very, very much on a strange journey, but
Hmm.
well worth the journey when you get it. It makes sense completely. Probably at about, I would say 85-90% of the people will be able to relate to it. The others will probably think that, we're cuckoo crazy for it, but it is good once you finally realize, all right, all right.
Well, I got to tell you, I learned so much, you know, from my friend here and my partner here, and in co-ownership of the D&D Diner. I'll tell you some things. Let's unpack it. And I love that you brought up the 90 seconds. There's so much that goes into it. Listen, we're not laying tile in the middle of Fresno summer at 115-degree heat. You know,
Oh,
we do what we do, but it is not easy because a lot of times you don't have a lot of time. You have to get in 90 seconds. You got to condense. You got to edit. You got to say, okay, when's the right time?
yeah.
It's not easy. But here are the three of the great takeaways. One, I get better because I get to do this with somebody I love, I care about. Secondly, the name came from you. We
Pure
changed the name.
accident.
Then it was great.
Accidentally all the way.
Yep. And then I love the hey, come and take a seat. You know, that is just awesome. So, how many or how long did you have to go before you started to feel your comfort level? Like, this is who I want to be. This is who I want to present. Go ahead.
I think the first few were very kind of nerve-wracking
Hmm.
because, I've done this for a long time, but on
Yes.
Facebook with friends, kind of thing.
Mm.
And my mom's notorious saying, well, you don't ever have to see a movie because DJ just goes ahead and she'll tell you all about it, so just read her commentary on it. And well, no, that's not the point. This is just my takeaway, okay? You go
Mhm.
see the movie and you decide and let us know. So when you and I started talking about it, I first thought you were joking because why? I mean, but knowing our relationship, and for as long
Hmm.
as we've known each other, it just kind of flowed really easy. But it took me, I would say, a good couple of weeks. But the hardest part for me is like when I have trouble with my MS and I take a little break.
Hmm.
One, I feel guilty for taking a break, and two, I lose my groove because I sit there and have to start all over again. And you
Hmm.
wouldn't think that you'd have to work on your confidence all over again. But then again, that crazy 90 seconds is always right here.
Yep. Yep.
It fumbles you a lot. And so hey, if somebody wants to come and play the game for, a time or two and want to show us how you can do it, let Darren and I know.
Well, yeah, exactly. We'd love to have guest reviewers from time to time. But now here's the thing: those of you who think you can do it better, that's good. Go do it better because that'll make us better. Hey, look, anybody can hold their breath for a minute.
Yeah.
Anybody can do one or two good, wonderful performances. Do it for 4 months when you're battling MS or you have troubles with work or you have life skills and this and that, and you know you have a responsibility to the people that are out there to do what you do. And so, what goes into your process about what you're going to review? Do you just see something first? Do you take suggestions? What is your protocol?
I've had people say, "Hey, I haven't seen this. Have you?" And I have a binder. Don't ask me where. It's somewhere. There are over 5,000 movies in there that I have seen. Holy
Hmm.
cow, right? Um, but I'll look and see what I thought about it. But normally, I just turn on the TV, and if the picture that's representing the movie looks interesting, I hit play and I don't stop. I'll watch it all the way through. Once I hit play, there's no stopping because you never know. Like Night
Hmm.
Bitch, really? And there's four of them that I've got to do this week. And there are some pretty amazing documentaries out there that really have me ticked off. But they're good when they can invoke that kind of energy from you. The things that you get out of it, you kind of hope is something that other people want to see or want to know about it without giving away too much.
Let's talk about. I'm going to stop you there. Let's talk about that. How do you? Because I find that hard sometimes. How do you find out giving enough without giving away spoilers? And sometimes, and especially it's tougher with you in a way because sometimes you're reviewing stuff that. Listen, let's pick an easy one, right? Wizard of Oz. I mean, we all know the witch dies at the end, until you see what. But like, how do you make those decisions about how much to give away and not give away? Like Night Bitch, we keep going back to it, is a wonderful thing. Like I don't want to say too much, but you want to give enough because you actually want people to watch it because you loved it.
Well, you do. That's when you kind of hopefully have enough of these in your back pocket to where you can kind of figure out, maybe it will go longer than the 90 seconds. And that way, like you and I, we've done part one and part two.
Yep.
You just slow it down that way. And
Hmm.
you're able to hit more of the points without giving away a lot. And it just makes it a lot easier sometimes when you have the part two, but you don't want to rely on it because then you'll have all kinds of empty space.
I want to talk a couple minutes about some of the movies that have come out because I think right now things that are going straight to streaming service, especially like documentaries and some others, are really, really good. I see some suffering in theatrical, and we can get into why that is. But I know as somebody, I've made two documentaries, and
Yeah.
that's been out there. And I bring that up only because I really have a lot of empathy for the people that have the balls to go out there and put it on the line and make movies and make documentaries. I try not to be critical. But I find myself from time to time, and I'll give you a great example. We'll talk about in a second. One that I just saw yesterday and I reviewed. Um, I feel like they're taking advantage of the audience. And then I feel like I want to say this was really lousy. You know,
Yeah, because they all have that guy come back at you again.
yeah, exactly. So, how do you figure out to censor yourself? Like, I could tell sometimes because I know you so long, I could read your face that, ooh, she didn't like that. But, ooh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just you have to do enough of them. But with me, what helps is I make notes as I
Mm-hmm.
go,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can compile what would be good without oversharing.
Right. Right.
But that's just me. That's how I am. I mean, I can't tell you how many freaking five subject binders that I've written notes about movies, but it helps because you're like, oh, well, that helped me in the beginning. I really wanted to talk like that, but that's not how I really feel now that I've taken a few minutes.
Mhm.
So you have to step away from it. Like with you, when you go to the theaters and you do them, you're on the spot.
Yeah.
Uh, of course, all of our brains work a little different. So what works for me is to make my notes and then try to compile it that way. But I try to do them within an hour of watching it,
So,
because
yeah, let me tell you a little secret about me because here it becomes self-effacing again. You know why I label that as instant reaction? Because by the time I get home, I'm probably going to forget the name of the movie, going to forget who's in it. So it's easier for me just to do instant reaction. So that's what I try to do.
yeah, I know. I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, dang. There's one that, and on this one, I think I will really enjoy talking about. It's called The Man on the Inside. And uh, oh goodness gracious, the plot is not even a reality, but this
Hmm.
is actually a real. It's happened. It's based on a documentary, but not
Hmm.
100% obviously. But it once you're like 10 minutes into this, you forget that the plot is not even important because you are so invested in what this person is doing and how they're doing it. It's hysterical, but it's a good what
Well,
eight mini series show.
you know, you've done so many wonderful reactions and reviews. And it's what we do is fun, and even though we sometimes tackle some tougher subjects, but I have to tell you, and you know how I feel about helping those who need help. You know how I feel about especially violence against women, which is
Yeah, yeah.
terrible. I got to tell you, your review and reaction and commentary on Anna Kendrick's movie,
Yeah,
I want to cry now. You were
that was tough.
wonderful. You made me have to watch it right away. I mean, I literally watched what you did and had to start watching it. Talk
And how
about
did you feel?
why that affected you so much.
Well, how did you feel about it?
Well, I love that question. Turned it around. Beautiful. I love it because one, you and I mean, I lived through it. We remember that happened. And what stinks is I believe in my soul, and unfortunately, I wish I was wrong, that happens to this day. It's still, casting couches still exist. Vulnerable people, predominantly women, sometimes men too, whoever they are,
It's hard.
it's hard. And these people are out there and they hide in the public. You know, one thing my brother taught me, and we learned it from my dad, to trust is good, to not trust is better. And people think
Sometimes
that,
that's how you have to deal with things.
yeah, and you think about the way that the young girl got away,
Yeah.
you know, and again, I don't want to give it away, right?
Yeah.
But you spoke about it with such passion because I know that you and I share that heart. It just, I want to cry now. It was just, first of all, she should win all sorts of awards for that. I
Yeah.
understand why she didn't want to take the money from it. I understand why she gave most of that money away. You know, but people
But
do
who
do,
does that? You know,
yeah,
who does that really, if you think about it?
I know. It's amazing. So what, I don't want to answer for you, but I would think that would be one of your highlights of this past year. Why did that movie affect you so much?
I think that the things that they went through
Mhm.
um, just kind of shows people that it wasn't just this time period that it
Yep.
has happened and
Oh
happened.
yeah.
Like the one that's going to be very difficult for me to do next is called Sugar Cane, and that's on the National Geographic Channel, and it is a documentary, and I was still am furious, so I'll be able to deal with that emotion wise perfect. But the things that you land upon when you watch these and how they strike a nerve, probably for a lot of different reasons,
Hmm.
each person different, whether you know somebody in that situation or it's kind of too close for home and comfort.
Yep.
So it just depends. Like that 6888, that
Yeah.
was
Yep.
phenomenal. That movie just, and I have gotten, and I'm going to blame it all on my youngest brother-in-law. I have gotten into a lot of the marine documentaries.
Hmm.
Uh, it's just asking him about things, like the lioness.
Right.
Those, I don't know if you were able to finally watch that yet or not, but um,
Halfway through.
I texted him and I said, really? And he said, 1,000,000%. He says, I dated one. Well, he was in special ops.
Right.
He was in the Marines for 20 years. He got he got the Navy Cross Award. I mean, he's just coated from head to toe with all. I think I showed you guys this picture at the end of that.
Yep.
But yeah, he says, yeah, they're those lionesses, they're real people. And a lot of times, they're the guinea pigs.
So
And it's horrible to think, and you have to think, would you do it?
right.
If you had the talents and the skills that they have, would
Hmm.
you be that type of person? And then go at it that way.
I want to try to lighten things up just a little. So it's a good segue here. Have you ever, because I've done this twice now for as long as we've been doing this, given a review and then think about it and want to either enhance what you said or reverse course? Has that
Yeah.
happened to you?
And I've texted you and I've said, I don't know, look at this before, and you let
Hmm.
me know, because there's a couple different ways I could have gone with it.
Hmm.
But, and that's the thing about having a damn good partner in all of this. You can bounce the ideas back and forth, and there's no judgment, just like, okay, well, yeah, maybe let's tweak it a little, but you've never given me that kind of, you know, turn. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
always been, hey, yeah, everything, sounded good. Yeah,
sound
everything
good. Yep.
good. So, but at least when I'm feeling not secure in what I'm saying or how I'm
Hmm.
presenting it, or maybe it could be done a different way, I need somebody to bounce that idea off when my home health nurses are not involved,
Right.
which I
That,
absolutely love that they do this with me.
I love
Uh,
that too because you shake it up. I love it. We never know who's at the diner.
yeah, at least not here. Heck, my cats have been in many of them. We've had cats in the diner.
So why do you think that movie theaters, well, not even the movie theater thing, I get that the people are sitting at home streaming because it's damn expensive now. It could be expensive, but I tell you, like people say, how do you go to two movies, three movies a week? Well, let me explain how. Very simple.
Exactly. I did that, what you've done. Yeah.
Isn't it great? 20,
Perfect.
$22 a month for a Regal card, $21 a month, unlimited movies. Can't
Yep.
beat it.
And you can upgrade it at a time to like we did when
Yeah.
we went and saw Wicked. You
Yes.
know, we went in a special area where we got the free popcorn and candy and sodas, and you pay very little for the alcohol, which nobody drinks alcohol in this house anymore. So, to do that little upgrade, far worth it. I mean, you get little trinkets for the movie. Yeah,
It's
it's
great.
great.
I love it.
You know,
So,
I got my Beetlejuice from it.
yes.
I love my Beetlejuice.
So do I. Beetlejuice,
He's a,
Beetlejuice.
he's a
Don't say
great
it another
phone
time.
holder. Yeah.
Um, let me jump here. What movie has disappointed you the most that you're looking forward to this past year, whether it's on streaming or theatrical, and which would you say was the best movie?
Okay, so I was really, really, really looking forward to Deadpool.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I said, when I pushed
Wow, I know. Look
and I
at that sad
played,
face.
I was disappointed like crazy. And I sat through the whole darn thing. But that's what that's what we signed up to do, press play and watch.
Yeah.
Um, to for the
What about it?
best.
What about its did you not like?
I don't know. It just I can't put my finger on it. Maybe there was just too much hype for it.
Right.
And it didn't live up to the hype, for me at least. Um, but the best by far, besides the documentaries, that anything that gets me emotional like that, Wicked, Wicked,
Wow.
Wicked, Wicked.
I got to tell you, well, you know how I felt about Wicked,
Yeah,
and I still do. Um, it was very, very, it was very good, exceptional. I seen it
my
6 times.
husband liked it, and
Yeah,
that was different.
yeah, I seen it 6 times. I mean, just I could tear it up, tear it down, because this is what I mean. When you have a good story and you tell a good story, and you can reimagine things. Like
No,
to me, there's nothing lazier than when a Steven Spielberg throws his name on West Side Story, and you take a
it's
masterpiece and you dumb it down and make it stupid.
yeah,
What they did with Wicked was the choice of actors was phenomenal. The screenplay
exactly.
was wonderful. The performances were wonderful. And the reimagining. And I look at The Wizard of Oz, the greatest movie ever made, and I'm a snob when it comes to that. I went into Wicked one expected to be disappointed.
Oh.
And boy, I was not. It was wonderful.
When I was little, my mom or my dad's mom took me to, I think it was the Pantages at the time, and we went and saw the Wiz with
Right.
Diana Ross and Michael Jackson in it, right?
He's
And
on
I
down
was,
the road. That's right.
that's what started it, then
Mm-hmm.
in all those years in between on TV,
Mm-hmm.
to now transition to Wicked, the prequel to everything, and I just can't wait for the second one to come out now.
Yep.
Well, from the minute I walked out of the theater, I'm like, oh dang, I gotta wait a long time now. I know it.
Oh, the last 1 minute of Wicked
Oh
was
God.
exceptional. It was
Yes.
everything's building, and it was beautiful.
And
And it
those
wasn't like
flying monkeys get me every time.
yes, and I love the way they explained the flying monkeys. That was
Yeah,
really nice.
yeah.
Um, Here's my however. I think Wicked gets beat at the tape by A Complete Unknown. Timothy Chalamet was amazing in that
I,
movie.
and Dylan,
Yep, the Dylan
we,
movie.
we were gonna go see that on Christmas morning because that was the day it came out.
Hmm.
But um I don't I don't think he was feeling well, and I really couldn't. I could have went by myself, but it was a movie he wanted to go see.
Oh, he will love it.
Yeah, because the last time we saw a movie in the theater together was Tom Hanks with being stranded on the island with the Wilson basketball.
Castaway.
Yeah, that was the last movie that he and I saw together in the theater.
It's been a while.
If he
I
wants to go, damn it, we'll go.
I think you will really like the Dylan biopic. It is amazing. And the fact that he sings every song
I know.
and he plays the guitar, he is amazing. The gentleman that plays Johnny Cash is very good. Um, it was
But
just,
the one that did the Elton John one, I
yep,
mean, my God, when these guys take on a role that requires them to learn the instrument
yep.
and learn to sing it, no lip syncing, nothing in the background, no one's playing piano, and you're faking it too. I mean, when you dedicate yourself
Hmm.
that deep, that's a hit right there.
Yeah, it really is. And just all of it just look, the females who played some of the other roles, Elle Fanning and some of the others that were there, very very good. But the people in Wicked played better. Chalamet is Dylan.
Yeah.
He just does such a wonderful job. Ed Norton does a tremendous job. He will win Best Supporting Actor. I don't know who else was nominated. If he was, and I thought Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2 will get the nod. Ed Norton, I think, beats him, and it was just amazing to me.
By a little.
Yeah, by a little, because Denzel's my guy. But I
Mm.
got so those I was really happy with a lot of those movies. But I've seen such terrible movies. Probably the worst movie I would say. I think the horror genre was really bad this past year. I think
But
that
that's all it was. It wasn't, I'm sorry, but the scare jumps were not really there. They were
thank
just,
you.
I'm all about, I want to, but I think me just being in love with Sons of Anarchy and those kind of
Yep.
movies, that they desensitized me a lot. And, I don't get scared of it for movies anymore. So,
Yeah, it's true. Listen, if you are playing toward 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds who are
uh
just going on their first dates and they want to have a couple of jump scares, if that's what you want to do, fine. But
yeah.
I will challenge you and suggest that, especially if it's much like you and I, you watch real documentaries about real tragedies, these are little jump scares. Like Five Nights at Freddy's, I was going to say it was the worst movie of the year. It was just terrible. It was stupid. It was dumb. Um, but I got to tell you, I saw Nosferatu last night.
Uh-huh.
Does that count as a 2025 or 2024? That was garbage. I mean, it was just garbage. It was filmed in this kind of trying too hard to be kind of black and white, but it was kind of blue and green, and just the acting was ass, and just the storyboard was, it was like a Scrabble game fell on the floor, and whichever way the letters were arranged, that was a script. It was terrible.
Awful. And I don't know what makes a director think just because you had a fantastic go at maybe part one and a part two of a
Mhm.
movie.
Mhm.
If they're at your high, very, very seldom are you going to get the third or any other parts to the same movie that caliber because
Yep.
it loses a lot every time you go. And it just stop while you're ahead.
100,000%. My grandma used to tell us, leave the table a little hungry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about that. Stop trying to squeeze another nickel out of the fan base because you look, I mean, you know who does it? I'm sorry. I don't want to get any hate mail, people, but Star Wars, episode nine, the asteroid cometh, whatever. Stop already. Like enough. Let's just
Jaws
move.
20. No, stop at the original Jaws and let it be.
Thank you. Because literally, that's a great one. There was a Jaws in 3D, and then there was a Jaws that takes place in Bermuda somewhere. The wife of the original Jaws somehow knows that the wife of the police captain, is vacation. It was just awful.
Yep.
Stop already.
Yep.
So
Just
before I let you go, can I put a request in?
sure.
All right. If you get a chance,
Mm.
please review American Primeval. I'm not going to tell you what I thought, but you can
Okay.
probably tell by my voice inflection. I'd love for you to tell me what it's. Have you ever heard of it?
I'm trying to jog the memory, but I think it's not that old of a
No,
movie.
it's out right now. It
Yeah.
just came out this month.
So American Prime Evil.
Yep, six
All right.
parts.
What's it on? What's it on?
I want to say Netflix.
Okay, well, I'll double check. All
Yep, I
right.
want to say,
That
and
that'll be my mission this afternoon.
it
And
is really um,
you can't tell me.
interesting. I'm going to put in. I'm
Okay.
going to say it's really interesting. That's a nice way to put it. But before I let
And
you
tell
go,
your listeners, let's tell them that if they have suggestions, maybe they're like I do with them, like I say, I may be wrong
yeah,
in how I feel about it, but please let me know what you guys. I don't hear from people too much, but I would love to get other people's ideas. Look this movie up and watch it. You
yep.
know,
Stop being polite, people. Listen, let us know where we're wrong, right, or just let us know. And
give him the hard stuff. I'll take these.
yes, yes. Thank you very much, kids. Um, DJ, you're the best. I just want to tell
Oh,
you,
you
thank
are.
you so much. No, you're the best. And
It's fun when we're able to get caught up and everything kind of meshes.
oh, absolutely. And
Now, if we can get the hockey teams to do that, we'll be in the best shape ever.
that would be great. I will talk to you soon, my
This
friend.
afternoon.
Be well. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.